Well, good morning everyone. My name is Helen Jennings. I'm a Stampin' Up demonstrator based here in the UK, and we've come on this morning to do a little bit of crafting, to have a little bit of a play, and to see where the mood takes us for the next little while. Now, I've just literally grabbed a couple of stamp sets. I've not actually even grabbed any colours. So let me just go and do that. I think I might just going to grab the subtle colour palette, I think. And I've got all my subtle inks, and let's see where that takes us. Okay, morning. So I've not really done very much crafting for it seems like ages. So I thought we'd just come and have a play this morning and see where it takes us. No real agenda. Just come and be crafty. So I've grabbed a couple of stamp sets, and they're both, this time of the year, it's all sort of autumn leaves and thinking about Christmas. I thought I'd go off the wall and we'd have a couple of flowery stamp sets. So a couple that you sort of not really used very much. This one I did for a fancy fold card quite some weeks back now. And the lovely you, I think I did when it first launched. I don't know that I've really played with it very much since then. So I thought we'd have a bit of a play with these two stamp sets. Perhaps do 2 cards, one with each. Who knows, there might be a bit of mixing and matching as we go along. So the Gorgeous Posies stamp set is the stamp set that goes with the Gorgeous Posies kit, which is stunning. And I've not even done my kit yet. So here's the card kit, and it's really gorgeous, lovely colours, lots of gold foiling in there, really beautiful, and perhaps one day I'll sit down and have a bit of a play with that, and just amuse myself with a bit of crafting. I do love the kits for that, because it's as if somebody else has designed a class for me, which of course is what it is. Somebody else has designed a class for me. That's the beauty of those all-inclusive kits, really. You've just got everything, and all you need to do is the time to sit down and have a play, and they're just beautiful, and a really nice way to spend an afternoon, an evening, or whatever. And you can get together with friends and all have one, and all have a little play. And you don't, of course, have to stick to the instructions on the kit. You can use your imagination and do what you like with yours. So, as I say, the Gorgeous Posies is the stamp set that goes along with that kit. And the other one I've got is this lovely You stamp set. And this is the stamp set that they brought out with the punch. That has the different ends on. So that comes in a bundle with that punch. But lots and lots of lovely greetings, but also all these little flowers. And they are really lovely. So let's just start, I think, with some Whisper White card. So do come on and say hello if you're joining us. We've got Beryl and we've got Caroline. Thank you for coming and joining us this morning. Do share out these videos with other friends so that they can come and join us as well. So I'm going to cut this to 14.4 by 10. I might trim it down a little bit more. While I've got that bit, I'll cut that to 10 as well. And then I've got 2 canvases on which to play. I'm just going to pop my trimmer out of the way for a minute and pop one of my pieces of cardstock out of the way for a minute. Now, which one shall we start with? We'll perhaps start with the lovely You. And as you can see, you've got lots of sort of different bits of foliage and sort of different leaves, different flowers. You've got this little bit just here that's rather fun. So where shall we go with this? I'm going to get a piece of scrappy paper. fun on that bit of paper, haven't we? Morning, Lisa. And put that down there. This is a red rubber stamp, this one, so that's good and fun. The red rubber stamps you do get a really lovely stamped image with the red rubber, and of course it does lend itself then to, if you're doing anything with any heat, if you're doing sort of triple embossing or anything, you can use your rubber stamps for that. Not quite such a good idea if you are using your photopolymer ones, because they might melt. Let's come in, let's have this leaf as well. Let's put a few up on some blocks while we think about, morning Em, thinking about some flower arranging. Now, I'm going to take this leaf first, I think, and it's a lovely leaf actually, with the sort of white down the side. It's quite fun. Shall we come up this side as well? The border each side. This really is not in any way planned. This really is, we're going, it's happening as it happens. I'm going to take this one here, I think, and I'm going to stamp it off before adding some of that in the background here. So now you've got that sort of paler foliage going along the back. We could have done that the other way round and stamped the stronger one on the front. I'm going to take this little flower just here, and could go Highland Heather, could go Blushing Bride, could go Calypso Coral. I think I'm going to go Blushing Bride. And we'll add in some flowers. That's the lovely thing about these sorts of stamp sets, it's just the being able to build them up. I'm going to take this little sort of combination, sort of fleur-de-lis and sort of type stamp with little dots. I don't think I want it as dark as that. I think I'm going to go, we'll have a swap, and I think we'll go so saffron. Got left behind on my block, on my chamois. Yeah, I think that's better. We'll just add in some bits of yellow. Hi Glenda, I'm fine, thank you. We're just having a bit of I'm just playing and I've invited you along. I think that's what this morning's all about. And I said, we're sort of, you know, here we're very much into sort of this time of year where it all seems to be autumn leaves and Christmas. So let's go completely off the wall. I'm sure that for those of you that are out in Australia, spring colours are far more appropriate. Right, that's looking rather pretty. So we've got that border both sides. So now we need let's have a bit of something going on in the centre. So I think perhaps we might go so saffron. It's really quite pretty, isn't it? Let's see if I've got an oddment of so saffron. I should have somewhere. Yes. Rustle, rustle, rustle. Find my plates for my machine. So let's bring in my die cutting machine, and we need number 1 plate, number 2 plates, my very well loved number 3 plate. Let's put on our bit there of put on a bit of so saffron, and then let's squeeze in a bit of whisper white too down there. Are they both on? Are you snuggled in there? Good. In fact, let's do that. Let's stick that bit out of that end and bring that bit on to that end. Pop our plate on the top, wind it through. There we go. We have so saffron, scalloped oval, and a whisper white, just a plain oval. Both layering up beautifully because they are from the layering ovals. Let me put the lid on there so we don't rest in it. let's see, what shall we have on there? Well, that Trust Me You're Lovely, I do like that one. We'll have that coming across the middle there. I think we'll do that in Pear Pizzazz. I'm loving my new machine, Caroline. It's fabulous. It's I've had to do quite a bit of class prep on it. So quite a bit of die cutting of poinsettias and peonies and all sorts of things. And yeah, it's working beautifully and seems to make it easier actually, because I'm only having to, definitely no winding it backwards and forwards, it's just going through once. The magnetic mat is allowing me to lay things up on it, so yeah, it's great stuff, highly recommended. Right, let's add a bit of loveliness to this mat here. So let's come back in with our leaf stamp, and I think we'll have that coming here, and perhaps we'll have another one coming across the top there. Just going to wipe that glass mat so that we don't pick it up everywhere. Let's bring in our little flower and our blushing bride. We'll have a little bit just there. Let's bring in our little fleur-de-lis crown bit. Now, let's bring in this piece of So Saffron cardstock. I'm going to cut it in half lengthways, so that's 10.5 centimeters for us. I'm going to score it in half the way, so that's 14.9 for us. Obviously, if you're using letter sizing, you can create very similar card just by making the mats to fit. Now it would be nice to have some ribbon in the back there, but we haven't really got any ribbon in any of those, the colours that we've used. But we have got a So Saffron pen. just wildly looking around because I know that going to cut off a length of ribbon, and then we'll take our So Saffron Stampin' Right marker. You could of course taken the ink and coloured it with re-inker or on our ink pad as well. That's the lovely thing about this white. I am picking up a little bit of colour actually from the glass mat. That's the nice thing about this white ribbon, is that it's fabulous as white ribbon, but the fact you can then make it any colour you want. Picked up a bit of black there somewhere that we don't want. And that must have been a bit of stays on because it didn't just wipe off easily. But of course the alcohol in the pen would have dissolved it. And I think what we'll do with that ribbon is we'll go back to our little flower. So we've coloured it in yellow in the background. Let's come in with this little stamp. And let's just stamp some Blushing Bride flowers along its length. So you won't necessarily see that those are flowers when we've got it tied and in place, but it will just show up as a bit of a different pattern. It will help to disguise any little blobs we've picked up along the way. Right. So if you can pick that up, look, you've got the yellow ribbon with just those pink flowers alongside it. Just caught something at the corner of my eye. It's next door's cat jumping onto the shed roof. Thought it felt like a bit of a big bird. Thought we were being invaded by something. Well, I'm going to tie that into a really big bow. And we'll have that going on in the background. So let's get some stickiness out and put this together. Thank you. It really is. I'm just playing. It's let's stick this one on the front here. And then we'll bring our bow. We'll attach that to the back. I'm just going to use some tear and tape, I think. to just anchor it down slightly. And then we'll bring in some dimensionals. I need to find some big dimensionals. And have that coming in here. I'll trim this off a little bit. And let's reach for our pretty sparkly things, and I think I might go pearls on there. I get songs pop into my head all the time, so it's Pearl's a singer at the moment. Trust me, you're lovely. That's quite a pretty little card, isn't it? And just goes to show that those sort of little elements in this sort of stamp set, they're great for just adding a little bit of something to bigger projects that you're, creating with other stamp sets. But they are also just rather fabulous in their own right. Would make a great one sheet wonder. I did think we could have done, the other thing you could do would be to use your Stamparatus and make a wreath. They'd be brilliant for that. So really useful little stamp set. And obviously the greetings are fab. Morning, Nita. So there's one little card, not at all autumny or Christmassy. Out of step with the seasons here in the UK, but where it's autumn in one part of the world, it's spring in another. And it's nice to get some different colours out. So there's Lovely You, little card with Lovely You. Obviously you'd need to add in a little bit in the middle. In fact, let's do that. Let's not leave this card half finished. Let's bring in I'll use this and then I'll cut another piece in a minute. So for our centerpiece, again, we can just build up a bit of something with these leaves and things. That's there it is. We'll just have some greenery round there. I think we will go in with the other. A bit of foliage. Let's bring back in our scrappy piece of card paper. Let's throw our stamp on the floor. And we'll just add in a couple of little bits of background. And a couple of flowers. Determined that that stamp set's going to be on the floor, that stamp's going to live on the floor. And our little So Saffron. Morning, Jackie. And I think in the middle we will put, let's see, on the front we've got Trust Me, You're Lovely. So in the middle, let's go Cherished Friend, shall we? That seems to work quite nicely. Oh, I feel like I've been missing the action for weeks, so I'm very definitely better late than never, Jackie. I do have to put out there, I know Em was on here earlier, I don't know whether she still is or whether she's had to disappear, but it has been a funny couple of weeks. To say we've been mourning the loss of a family member, our little fluffy family member. That's been quite sad, but we have also got really exciting things happening in the family. My granddaughter is just starting school and loving every minute of it, but she is also, the other exciting news for her is that she's about to become a big sister, and that could be any time now over the next week, 10 days, couple of weeks, depending on how laid back the young man decides to be. If he's anything like his sister, he'll be very laid back. Emily's hoping for somebody not quite so laid back. And let's put a bit of stamping on our envelope as well. Let's completely beautify this one. So, as I am on looking after Thea duty, yeah, my plan is to be here as normal. My grandson may have other ideas. That was a bit pale, wasn't it? But that's okay. Sooner rather than later. Indeed, you do hope for sooner rather than later. Oh, why is that to stick on there? It must have some fluffiness on the back there. Definitely doesn't want to stick, does it? Just going to. You will be added into this project. Morning, Angie. Right, so look at us, how good we've been. We've got a card front, we've got a card inner, and we've decorated the envelope. All good stuff, all ready to go. Okay, so card number 1 with the lovely you. Let's just pop these stamps away. Oh, they're all leaping about. As I say, and they really are it is a lovely set for just playing with and adding a little bit here and a little bit there. Just because the stamps are little doesn't mean that you can't turn them into a big project. Let's bring in the gorgeous Posies. This is a really sweet little set. You've got this big flower and you've got this little sort of blobby one here with these highlights. You've got the bits that go in the centre of the flower. You've got these leaves, this bit here that you could either use as veins in the leaves or twiggy bits in their own right. So another lovely little stamp set that we can have a play with. Now buried underneath here somewhere is the other half of that piece of A4 card that we started with. So this one I'm going to cut to 13.9 by 9.5, and we'll do one more for luck. I'll hang on to that bit, that might be useful for a sentiment, who knows. So, what to do with this one? So I think we're going to start. I have actually already got a mat in here. We might use that, who knows. But we'll start with our large flower. And I think I'm going to come slightly off centre just there. And I think I'm going to stamp that one. I'm going to make it so saffron. It's a lovely stamp. It's one of those that gives you sort of multi-tonal. I don't think it's down as a distinctive stamp, but it gives you that sort of a feel about it. And I'm going to take the spotty centre and some Calypso Coral, I think. It's rather fun. Now, let's take our mat and lay that over the top. Oh, got a bit of a mark just there. I think we will put down a couple more yellow flowers. And we'll add in our Calypso Coral centres. Let's have some leaves and let's go pear pizzazz as we're sticking to these sort of subtle colours. Just be careful to miss that flower there and miss the end of my leaf altogether. Going to you get to see patterns in these flowers and things, don't you? There's like a little bunch of 3 petals that are together and slightly separate from the rest. So that's what I'm using there. I think that's those just there. And we'll have this one coming down the bottom. As I say, I could use those other stalky bits to go in to these leaves, but I quite like the idea of them in their own right. I think we'll come in with, oh, let's have some soft sea foam, so just a pale little background piece. And we'll have another one coming down here. And then we've got our blobby flower. So I think we'll go Highland Heather for that little blobby flower. You see where on that you've got that sort of, you've got the 3 petals here that are sitting different from that other lot. There's sort of a bit of a gap just here, so that's quite useful for helping you line up your mask as to which way round it goes. Quite often there's something that you can focus on. Ooh. And let's find the little highlighty bits in the middle of these flowers, and might go balmy blue with those, because hopefully that will just add in a bit of something. And this one up here. Just add in a little bit of blue. There. Let's have celebrating your day in there, and I think we'll perhaps do that in balmy blue. Are you wet? Yes, you're wet. That's why you don't want to be picked up. That's better. Let's grab Yeah, I think I actually prefer the white on that one. So let's cut this piece, and let's go 10 by 14.4 or whatever your first size mat is. And we'll have that on a piece of card like that. And this time do we want to add in some? No, I think I'm going to go back to my pearls, and I'm just going to colour some of these blue. Let's have a we'll have a big blue pearl and a couple of these sort of more medium-sized ones, I think. And just use the brush end of our Stampin' Blend to colour those. Let's leave that just to dry a second while we glue this on. I think this glue is nearly empty. Got another one somewhere though. It's fine. Let me just stretch over here. And we'll add that to there. I think inside we'll have "For a very kind and thoughtful friend." Just add in a little flower in the centre there. Oh, nearly. Let's rest that on the ink pad. And let's do the same on the back there. Ah, there you are, little leaves. There we go. Let's just give that a wipe before we put this down. Move our little mat to one side. So, celebrating your day. That would make quite a pretty wedding card, wouldn't it? Anniversary, as well as birthday. Really useful. And this little set has also got some sort of wishing you comfort and peace at this time, which is, oh yes, don't forget my well spotted, Glenda, which would be good for sympathy. You've got to get well soon in there as well. That would make quite a nice get well soon card. Yes, the pearls. Let's just put in a few little pearls just for prettiness. So I just grabbed two very random stamp sets. Not that the stamp sets themselves are random, it was just a very random choice from I was going down thinking, oh, should we go Christmas? Should we go autumn leaves? Should we go Halloween or pumpkins? No, we went flowers. So there we go, both using the subtle colour palette, both with envelopes and insides all decorated, both using stamping blends, one to colour the ribbon, one to colour the pearls, but two very different, but very pretty floral cards. So it's been lovely to be back with you this morning. I hope you have enjoyed those, and I will be back with you very soon. So take care, everybody, and have a really good week.